Everybody, welcome back to Kevin's One-Stop Shop, where no job's too big, no job's too small. And today I'm working on an 05 2500 Duramax. Started out, project was going to be replacing the high pressure hose off the power steering pump, which is this funky curving. Right here you can kind of see it goes right here and it wraps around and it comes back towards the back of the firewall, bends back around, and you'll eventually see the nut right there. You can see it's pretty tight clearance between, it's hard to tell in this video, apologize, but anyway, it's a pretty tight fit. When you take that nut loose and try to come back, it almost wants to hit your exhaust manifold. I believe if you was very careful with it and kind of patient, you could probably slip it out and slip the new one in. It just seemed to be a little bit aggravating to me. But like I say, you could probably do that. Well, once I did get the hose out from it being a tight fit, the problem then came into putting the new hose back. Well, I rerouted the hose back exactly like the way it's supposed to be, but I could not get the I could not get the line to thread back into the back of the power steering pump. I was scared that it was cross-threading, and I was messed around with it for quite a while and was scared to tighten up on the wrench because I didn't want to mess up the hose or mess the pump up. So anyway, what I wound up doing was just pulling the pump out altogether, getting the hose started, and then putting it back in. So I figured I might as well show everybody what would be involved with replacing the power steering pump, since I pretty much had to do that anyway. So you can see there is a little fitting, there's a nipple right there. You have to take that off. It's just a little clamp on a hose. And then if you look down, there's another one right there that you can see. That has to come off. Then, of course, the high pressure line right here that I originally went to replace, of course, those three things have to come off on the back. If you can see, there's a hole right there. Hang on me. There's a hole there. You can see where I've already taken a bolt out, and then you can see the bolt hole up higher. So those two bolts would have to come out if you were going to replace the power steering pump. And if you come up top, there are 3 bolts in the front of the engine. I've already started putting them back, but I figured I would show you. 1, 2, and then that third one down, kind of straight down, looks a little bit darker. But anyway, if you take those 3 off, and then from up top, there's 2 bolts. There will be one a little kind of high, and then there'll be one a little bit lower that you can see from the other side. But anyway, once you take the high pressure line off the back, and then those 2 low pressure lines off the back, take the 2 bolts out of the side I showed you, and the 3 out of the front, this thing will pretty much just lift right out. It's a little bit heavy. It's not too bad. But anyway, and then of course installation is going opposite of what you've done. I think that I may have the hose threaded in the back before I took all this loose, but I was, like I said before, I was afraid that I was going to cross thread the the new line. I know sometimes when you get a hose in a situation like that, it'll feel tight, and if you can get a wrench on it and turn it, it'll loosen up, and then it's good to go. But however, in this case, it just seemed like it was a little bit harder than normal, and take the chance that messing up the threads on the hose sends me back to the store, cost me another $50, and you know the rest of the story. But anyway, I just want to show you that little quick bit of information. Even though I didn't replace the pump, I took it out and hooked the hose up. Thought it would be good to show somebody. One little trick too that I can show you. You've got those 2 bolts that go in the side, as I mentioned earlier. Well, it's kind of a tight fit, and if you're not careful, you put the bolt in your socket on your extension, and as you're trying to guide it through there, the bolt falls off, and then, hey, where's the bolt? Now we spend 30 minutes looking for a bolt. Then we wind up going to the store. So one trick someone showed me years back was to take a paper towel. Let me climb down here so I don't fall. Anyway, you take take your socket, you take your socket, and if you'll notice the bolt, it's a little sloppy when you put the bolt head in there. You can see right here, sorry, I gotta hold the camera with one hand, but you can see it's fairly sloppy, and if I turn that thing sideways, it's gonna most likely, well, of course I ain't gonna do it while I'm trying to show you, but it's gonna fall out. Not out here, it's easy to get to, but it's gonna fall out when you get in that truck, and now you're gonna be looking for it. So, if you'll take that same socket, you can see here, take you a piece of paper towel, just lay it over the top, take that bolt, and now stick it in that socket once you get it to go. And like I said before, I only got one hand for lack of video recording. But anyway, if you'll look at this thing now, get it put together. You can see my extension, my ratchet. Now, I can take and I can turn that thing upside down. And if you'll notice, it is not falling out. Before, when I had this thing, if I just turned it a little bit sideways, it would fall out, especially when you get in the engine compartment. And as soon as you bump it, it's going to fall right out. But now I can take that thing, I can stick it straight in from the side without any problems at all. Okay, so I've got everything back together. I've got my serpentine belt back on. Got my power steering pump hooked up, all my bolts, got my electrical connector hooked back up. Underneath, got everything tied back in. You can see a little bit. Got my, one thing I mentioned earlier, I should have mentioned earlier was, if you take your turbocharger pipe off, that gives you a little bit more clearance to get to that bolt back there. That was one thing I maybe should have mentioned earlier in the video. But anyway, I hope this helps. I'm trying to get some videos out there to help people do some jobs. YouTube has helped me a tremendous amount on repair jobs. I kind of feel like I need to give back a little bit, and maybe if there's anything out there that I could show somebody that maybe save them some time or some money, I like to try to do that. If you would, give me some feedback. Let me know what I could do a little bit better. Anything that you don't understand, let me know so next video that I make be a little bit better. But anyway, check out some more of my videos. I'm usually working on a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, I hope this helps out, and y'all have a good day. Thank you.